Hello, everyone. I am Nakamura, President and CEO of Rare Job Inc. Now, I would like to begin the financial results briefing for the first quarter of the fiscal year ending March 2026. Today, I will first cover the consolidated business results summary, then move on to our group vision, purpose, and services, followed by an explanation of our first quarter performance. After that, I will continue with strategic business topics. To begin, here is the summary of our consolidated business results. This is the summary of our first quarter financial results. Net sales were 2.352 billion yen, a decrease of 5.7% compared to the same period last year, with a progress rate of 24% toward our annual target. Operating profit was 11 million yen, down 87.4% year-on-year, with a progress rate of 2.4%. And regarding the net loss attributable to owners of the parent company, it ended up at 16 million yen. So, regarding this first quarter, we are in a period of transforming our business portfolio. For that reason, we are continuing to make strategic investments aimed at this portfolio transformation. At the same time, we are successfully reorganizing our service lineup and accelerating our shift toward high value-added areas. As a result, the reality is that we are behind compared to the same period last year. However, our progress toward the full-year performance forecast is proceeding smoothly. Next, I will talk about the group vision and our purpose-driven services. The Rare Job Group's group vision is chance for everyone everywhere. This is our guiding principle. We want to create a world where people everywhere can demonstrate their abilities and thrive. To achieve this, we offer a wide range of services for everyone from children to adults. So, for example, we provide online English conversation lessons for children. In addition, we dispatch foreign English teachers, native English speakers, as adults mainly to elementary and junior high schools. We also offer offline programs, such as sending instructors to kindergartens and nursery schools, as well as online preparatory schools for qualifications. And then, we also provide training in languages other than English for people who want to work globally. We offer online English conversation lessons for adults, and we also provide AI-powered speaking tests to assess those skills. In this way, we have a wide range of services and provide appropriate offerings for every generation. Now, moving on to the results for the first quarter. In this first quarter, the market environment has been changing significantly, especially with the advancement of AI technology. We believe it is necessary to continually update our business portfolio to adapt to these changes, and that is exactly what we are currently doing. As a result, we have seen a decrease in revenue compared to the same period last year. On the expense side, while there have been increases in personnel costs due to upfront investments for future growth, we have also made progress in cost reduction, such as partially internalizing some instructor-related operations. These efforts are helping to control costs. Net sales were 2.352 billion yen, a decrease of 5.7% compared to the same period last year. EBITDA was 85 million yen, down 48.8% year-on-year. Operating profit was 11 million yen, a decrease of 87.4%. As for profit, it was 12 million yen, down 87.1%, and net income for the period was negative 16 million yen. Next, I'll discuss the profit and loss by segment. Our segments are divided into two: the res-killing business for adults and the child and parenting support business for children. First, regarding the res-killing business, sales were 1.028 billion yen, a decrease of 12.9% compared to the same period last year. Of that, the individual services segment, well, this part, yes, it resulted in a decrease in revenue, coming to 597 million yen, which is a 22.5% drop. As for services, there was a 5.1% increase compared to the same period last year, reaching 431 million yen. Regarding segment profit, it stands at minus 18 million yen. Well, in particular, when it comes to the consumer segment, the market has seen significant developments, such as the advancement of AI and the emergence of AI-powered apps and similar products, which have had quite an impact. There has been a noticeable increase in these. So when it comes to user choices, specifically the options available when someone wants to study English, those options have grown, and that has also had an impact. Furthermore, as a result of this, yes, the cost of acquiring users through web advertisements and similar channels has also been rising. Additionally, regarding services for individual customers, last year we offered a high-price service called Smart Method, but for this fiscal year, we have decided to withdraw from that and are in the process of developing something new to replace it. So, we have made the decision to withdraw from that service. This decrease in revenue is also reflected in the individual customer segment. And as for the current situation, we are now working on revamping this individual customer segment. To that end, we are introducing new services, clarifying our target audience, and also aiming to capture areas we haven't reached yet. Additionally, we are planning to make changes that include our instructors. In short, we are in the midst of a structural reform process right now. As a result, our segment profit is temporarily at minus 1,800 yen, but we are currently working hard to transform this area. To our shareholders, I understand that the situation may be causing you concern, but please know that we are implementing various measures to turn things around in the segment. Moving on, regarding the child and childcare business, sales reached 1.323 billion yen, which is a 0.7% increase compared to the same period last year. Breaking it down, the Alt Dispatch service recorded 1.247 billion yen, which is a 2% increase. The English Conversation Service for Children, which includes online English lessons and online English classes for schools, came in at 76 million yen, representing a 16.2% decrease. Segment profit was 74 million yen, which is a 13.7% decrease compared to the same period last year. Regarding this as well, for the online English conversation segment, both for children and adults, we are steadily implementing structural reforms. In addition, we are clearly defining our target audience on both the instructor and sales sides, and we are working to effectively utilize not only online, but also offline channels. From promotion to customer acquisition, we are thoroughly considering all these aspects, and we aim to consistently create the optimal offerings for both adults and children. We are currently working on revamping our services so that we can provide something truly valuable in this area as well. In total, our sales amounted to 2.352 billion yen, which is a decrease of 5.7%. Operating profit was 11 million yen, representing a decrease of 87.4%. As for the progress rate against our performance forecast, overall, sales have reached 24% progress. We are steadily moving forward, and by implementing various policies, we plan to achieve our targets. Regarding operating profit, the current progress is at 19.4%, but as we move into the second, third, and fourth quarters, especially with services like Alt Dispatch and other established offerings, we expect further progress. Also, we are planning to generate solid profits in the latter half of the year to make sure we meet our targets. So, these are the figures for each segment. Among the various main KPIs, if we look at the customer unit price for online English conversation for individuals, it was 6,574 yen in Q1. For corporate clients, it was 9,745 yen, which is an increase of 352 yen compared to the same period last year. As for this particular aspect, the main factor behind the notable increase in unit price is that we have been steadily selling our business courses to corporate clients. We are actively working to steadily raise this unit price. Yes, and we are making sure to secure a solid gross profit. We believe that this is very important, so we will continue to do so. Also, regarding corporate clients, we have shifted from simply selling online conversation lessons to a more solution-based sales approach. We are now conducting solution sales by thoroughly addressing and solving the issues faced by HR departments, so we are not just offering online English conversation, but also other services beyond that. We are providing solutions. For example, we offer leadership training for those aiming to succeed globally, cross-cultural training, and cross-cultural communication workshops, among other things. By providing these various services, we are working to increase our overall sales. Also, one of the areas we are working hard to transform is the testing market. When it comes to English proficiency benchmarks for corporations, TOEIC is a very prominent player. However, with TOEIC alone, there are cases where someone scores, say, 800 points but still can't speak English. In real workplace situations, there are people with high TOEIC scores who aren't actually useful on the job. This happens because TOEIC only measures listening and reading skills and doesn't assess speaking ability. That's the kind of issue we're facing. So, we've developed a test that accurately measures speaking ability, and we're offering it to corporate clients. We've also developed a system that allows the test to be scored by AI instead of manually, and that's what we're providing now. As a result, thanks to adoption by many major clients, we've now surpassed a cumulative total of 1 million test takers. The number of test takers has been steadily increasing. We will continue to focus our efforts in this field, aiming to create a society where, when it comes to measuring English proficiency, it's standard to use the CFR measure by Probos. And of course, if you improve your Probos score, it means you can speak English better. So, when it comes to what kind of training you should do to become a better speaker, that's where our real job English conversation services come in. Through these kinds of services, we are committed to truly improving English proficiency. We aim to provide services that deliver real results, as well as clear indicators to measure those results. We want to firmly offer both of these aspects and continue to expand them moving forward. Next, I'll talk about our child and childcare support business. Regarding this, our main KPI, especially for Alt Dispatch, is the number of prefectures where we dispatch staff. In FY19, we've expanded to 30 areas. Compared to the previous year, that's an increase of 2 areas. On the other hand, there are still prefectures where we haven't been able to dispatch yet. So, we see this as an opportunity to expand our business by targeting those areas as well. By offering our services to a wider range of fields and prefectures, we believe there is even more potential for sales growth, and we are actively conducting sales activities aimed at the next fiscal year. The number of municipal contracts has reached 146, an increase of 5, and the number of alt dispatch staff is now 1,162, which is an increase of 27 people. And regarding online English conversation lessons, specifically for children, the current customer unit price is 4,455 yen, which is an increase of 45 yen compared to the same period last year. That's where we currently stand. As for our Alt Dispatch service, the sales figures for the entire year are essentially already determined and solidified by around April. Currently, we do have some relatively small-scale projects that commenced partway through the year, so we are actively working on acquiring those opportunities, and at the same time, we are diligently focusing our efforts on comprehensive sales activities for the upcoming next year. Now, here is the quarterly sales trend. Since Borderlink became a wholly owned subsidiary and joined our group in the fiscal year ending March 2024, our sales scale has roughly doubled. On the other hand, regarding our services for individuals, mainly online English conversation and similar offerings, these have been on a downward trend, continuing due to factors such as the normalization of social activities after COVID and the rise of AI apps. We are currently working on a fundamental overhaul in this area. As for this first quarter, we see it as a turning point in our business structure. From the second quarter onward, we plan to fully implement our growth strategies, aiming for medium to long-term growth. We ask for your patience a little longer, as we are committed to ensuring solid growth moving forward. Now, moving on to our strategic business topics. Looking toward the future that the Rare Job Group aims for, we have been providing education through online English conversation, focusing on connecting people to people. Here, our strengths lie in having real people teach, as well as the motivation that people can provide. However, one area that has been changing rapidly lately is the evolution brought about by AI, which has been extremely intense. As you all know, a variety of tools have emerged. For example, with OpenAI's ChatGPT or Gemini and similar tools, you can instantly get translations, or have them generate English learning exercises for you. Even when it comes to conversation, if you use GPT and the like, you can have a normal conversation just like that. That's the precise situation we're currently in. And when it comes to things like your own personal mistakes or even subtle pronunciation nuances, AI can provide you with accurate and detailed feedback on those aspects as well. That's truly the current state of things. So, by thoughtfully combining the essential human element with the remarkable strengths of AI and offering them together, we firmly believe this is what will contribute most significantly to people's overall growth. That's what we believe, and we want to make sure we do this properly. Especially, there's an issue where if you only use AI, it's hard to keep going. For example, there are all sorts of apps out there. For example, Duolingo. I think many of you are familiar with it. It's a well-known app. It's a self-study app, and it's really well made. Rather than just focusing on learning, it incorporates gamification, so you can enjoy it like a game. It's an app for learning English or other languages, and it's been improved a lot. That's why so many people around the world use it. Even with such apps, there is data showing that about 33% of users cancel within the first month. Compared to online English conversation services like ours, that's a much higher cancellation rate. Besides that, there are also many other English conversation apps that use AI. Still, a common challenge for many of these services, something I hear when talking with various business owners or looking at different tools, is that people just don't stick with it. The issue is that when users first sign up and pay for the app, that's usually when their motivation to learn English is at its highest. So at the beginning, they're like, all right, I have to do this. So people decide, all right, I'll do this for a year, and they sign up for a 1 year package. But in reality, after a month or two, they stop keeping up with it, and then gradually they just stop altogether. This is something I see happening all the time around me. I think this is inevitable when it's just a machine involved. Of course, if you keep at it, you'll naturally improve, but at the same time, it's really hard to stay motivated. Probably about the top 1% of learners, maybe just 1%, are truly proactive and can handle everything with just AI. For those people, AI is an excellent tool. They get very accurate answers and keep improving. So those kinds of people are able to use AI effectively for learning and keep growing, and that's the kind of world we're moving toward. On the other hand, for the majority of people, there's a problem. If it's just AI, they end up not studying. So in those cases, it's really necessary for motivation to come from other people. For example, if we're talking about children, if there are no parents around when a child is supposed to study, then no matter how many books or textbooks or other resources are available, they often just won't do it. But if their parents are there, or if they get homework at school, or if they go to school and have friends, or if teachers are teaching them and sparking their interest, then those kinds of external factors help them learn. It's by being exposed to these outside influences that they end up studying. And this is the same for adults. After all, having external factors really does boost motivation to learn. When motivation drops, it can be lifted again by encouragement from others, and then you keep going. So, one thing that current AI just can't provide is motivation. That's why it's important for people to give each other motivation, to help keep each other going, and so on. And with AI, things like precise feedback and repetitive practice, AI is really good at those. So, you can have AI handle the repetitive practice, and that helps you improve steadily. This kind of combination between people and AI is, I think, extremely important not just for learning English, but for learning in general. That's the situation we're in now. We want to skillfully combine people and AI, and then provide services in the right way to the right people. For those who can manage with just AI, that's perfectly fine. For those who really need human involvement, we make sure people are at the center. And for those in between, we strike a good balance between people and AI. So that's the kind of thing we want to do, and we want to do it well. We believe it's necessary to provide services by segmenting our user target groups according to what they want and need. So, in that context, we are providing a variety of services. For example, when it comes to things that can be handled solely by AI, we offer things like speaking tests that are accurately scored entirely by AI. On the other hand, we also provide online English conversation lessons with human instructors, and for those, we might use AI to give feedback. In this way, we combine these approaches effectively and move forward. That's the kind of work we're doing. And, of course, we're also making the most of human strengths. For example, with alt staffing, we dispatch native English teachers to schools. This is extremely important for English learning, and even beyond just learning English, it's a very significant aspect. Especially for children, this is particularly important. Meeting people they don't know, people from different cultures, and interacting with them to learn new things. this becomes a very important experience. I believe that's one of the key values of having alts. Recently, even in the last House of Councilors election, there was quite a bit of discussion about this. The issue of foreigners was raised as a topic. Naturally, people who haven't had much contact with foreigners tend to lack understanding or may even feel afraid of them. Those kind of reactions are to be expected. When it comes to this, it's really important, starting from childhood, whether or not you've interacted with people from different cultures really changes how you feel about them, I believe. Starting from childhood. By coming into contact with things we're not used to or things we don't know, we realize, oh, there's a world like this out there, or there are people from different cultures like this. Experiencing that firsthand, even from childhood, helps us understand that such a world exists. It broadens our knowledge, and it also opens us up to wanting to learn more in the future. That's how it works in that way. I believe that our understanding of different cultures will also expand. So, in that sense, not only is it about learning English, but also about understanding cultural aspects. Especially when it comes to interacting with people, particularly with foreigners, starting from childhood has real value. That's one of the key benefits of learning through personal experience. We provide this kind of program for schools, and that English, as well as the cultural value beyond just language. We aim to provide these aspects and further expand them. And as for business topics, since we launched in 2020, in 5 years, our AI-powered business speaking test, Progos, has surpassed 1 million test takers. This achievement is thanks to providing solutions for both learning opportunities and assessment, which has contributed to solving the challenge of improving English speaking skills. For example, various data has emerged in this area, such as in the hotel industry. We are also seeing differences in English proficiency across all Japanese companies, as well as gaps in business English skills between Japanese and global companies. Based on this kind of data, we provide appropriate solutions to each client, and we also offer suitable target benchmarks. That's the kind of approach we're taking. And regarding our online certification prep school, Shikaka Square for educational institutions and legal entities, we also offer legal qualification courses. With these new initiatives, we've been able to start providing services to schools through a B to B to C model, which is opening up new business opportunities for us. As a result, we're seeing a steady stream of new developments taking shape. That concludes the explanation of our first quarter financial results. Thank you very much for watching. Going forward, we at RareJob Incorporated will continue to work hard on various initiatives to deliver solid business results, and we will do our utmost to realize our vision. We appreciate your continued support.